The day started like any other. Children walked to school. Cars moved slowly through morning traffic. People sipped coffee, stared at phones, and rushed to work. The sky was clear. The air was calm. No one knew what was coming. At exactly 9:14 am, everything changed. First, the birds stopped flying. Then came a strange sound, low, deep, like thunder under the ground. People looked up. The sky started to shake, and then it broke. A giant black line tore across the sky. It wasn't a cloud. It wasn't a storm. It was something else. Something alive. Within seconds, the clouds turned dark red. A huge hole opened in the sky, and from it came the ships. Massive metal ships, shaped like daggers, began to fall from the sky. Thousands of them, they didn't make a sound, floated down slowly, blocking out the sun. Cities went dark. Lights flickered. Power died. People screamed. Planes fell. Buildings shook. But the ships didn't fire. Not at first. They landed in oceans, deserts, forests, and city streets. Then they opened, and what came out didn't look human. Creatures tall and thin, wearing black armor with glowing blue eyes. Their arms were long. Their faces were hidden behind sharp helmets. They spoke in a strange language, like metal grinding on metal. People ran, soldiers were called, governments reacted. But it was too late. The aliens didn't come to talk. They came to take. They moved fast. In minutes, cities fell. Their weapons melted tanks. Their machines turned soldiers to ash. No mercy, no warnings, just capture and control. They called themselves and they wanted slaves. They saw humans as weak, unorganized, divided, an easy target. They were wrong. In a small town outside Chicago, a man named Raylan Pierce watched the sky from his backyard. He was a former soldier, retired, quiet. He lived alone. When the ships came, he didn't panic. He didn't run. He went into his basement and opened an old metal box. Inside was his pass dog tags, a photo of his unit, and a weapon he promised never to touch again. But promises break when the sky does. He turned on the radio, static. He turned on the TV. Only one channel worked. It showed the president. "We are under attack," the president said. "Do not resist. Stay indoors. Help is coming." Raylan stared at the screen. "Lies," he whispered. "Help isn't coming." Outside, screams grew louder. A Dravari drone flew over his house. It scanned the area, then moved on. Raylan stepped outside, looked at the falling ships, and said softly, "They made a mistake coming here." In New York, millions tried to escape, but the Dravari were everywhere. They built towers overnight. Machines pulled people into cages. Children were separated from parents. Men were dragged into dark rooms. Women cried. No one fought back. Not yet, but in the crowd, a teenage girl named Sasha hid in a broken subway station. Her brother had been taken. Her parents gone. She held a pipe in her hand, shaking, crying. Then she saw it, one of the Dravari, walking alone, scanning for survivors. Something snapped inside her. She didn't run. She didn't hide. She attacked. The pipe hit the alien's face. It screamed. She hit it again and again. Blood black and thick splashed across the walls. When it stopped moving, she dropped the pipe and looked round. People stared at her, and then someone clapped. Another picked up a rock. Another, a bat. That's how the first resistance was born, not with a plan, but with a girl and a pipe, back in orbit. Inside the largest alien ship, the Dravari leader watched Earth burn. "We will break them," he said in his cold voice. "In 10 cycles, this planet will belong to us." His second Dinkoman asked, "What if they resist?" The leader laughed. "They are not warriors. They are soft, weak, scared." But he was wrong. Far below, in secret places, people began to organize. Old soldiers called each other, scientists hid tech, hackers broke into alien signals. Something was forming slowly, quietly. Not an army, not yet, but something more dangerous. Hope.Raylan looked at the photo of his old unit. Most of them were dead now, killed in wars long forgotten, but one line echoed in his minder. Line his captain once said, "We don't fight because we think we'll win. We fight because we can't live as slaves." Raylan picked up his weapon and stepped outside. He looked up at the sky, now filled with alien clouds. "Let's give them hell," he whispered. And so it began. The night after the invasion was silent. Not peaceful, but silent. Streets were empty. Fires burned without anyone trying to stop them. Phones didn't work. Internet was gone. No news, no answers, just fear. In every city, the Dravari set up towers. Machines buzzed, lights flashed. The sky was full of their ships. They flew like birds of prey, hunting down anyone not already in cages. Humanity was on its knees, but not for long, in a forest near the Appalachian Mountains. Raylan Pierce sat near a small fire. His beard was thicker now. His hands were dirty. His uniform, once proud, was covered in ashdot. Around him sat 9 others, men and women, farmers, mechanics, a nurse. A teenager was shaking hands. No soldiers, except him. "We can't just wait here forever," one man said. "They're taking people every day." Raylan nodded slowly. "I know," he said. "That's why we hit them tomorrow." Double quotes, gasps. The group looked at each other, some in fear, some in shock. "Are you crazy?" the nurse asked. "They melt tanks. They fly. They don't bleed like us." Raylan stood and threw a small metal object onto the table. A black chip, glowing faint blue. "What's that?" someone asked. Raylan smiled. "Just a little. It's their eye," he said. "Took it off a drone I killed 2 nights ago." Everyone leaned in. "They're strong," he continued, "but not perfect. They make mistakes. They don't understand Earth. Not yet. We know this land. We know how to hide. We know how to fight dirty." Someone in the back whispered, "Are you saying we can win?" Raylan didn't answer. He looked at the sky. "I'm saying," he finally spoke, "they bleed." The next morning, the first strike happened. Not in a city, not in space, but in a small Dravari transport station near a destroyed town called Elridge. 2 guards stood at the gate, tall, armored, bored. Then a noise click, click, click. They turned. An old farming truck came racing toward them. It looked broken, wires hanging, smoke rising. One of the aliens stepped forward to stop it. Too late. Boom. The truck exploded, sending fire and shrapnel into the air. The guards were thrown back. Before they could recover, humans ran in from the trees, guns, knives, bats, screaming, shooting. It was fast, loud, brutal. The Dravari inside the station tried to fight back, but they were outnumbered. And surprised, Raylan led the charge. His weapon old, but deadly. Every shot counted. By the end, 5 aliens were dead, 1 captured, and 15 humans still alive. The world didn't know it yet, but the war had just started. Somewhere else, inside a dark alien tower, a young woman named Sasha sat in a metal cell. Her clothes were torn, her face bruised. She had tried to run, she had tried to fight, but they caught her. Now she waited. She wasn't crying anymore, she was listening. She noticed the guards changed every 2 hours. She knew which ones walked too slow, and which ones never looked inside. She learned how the doors hissed before they opened. She wasn't just surviving, she was planning, back in the rebel camp. Raylan stood over the captured Dravari. The alien was chained, arms behind its back, mouth covered. Raylan removed the mouth cover. "Why are you here?" he asked calmly. The alien hissed. "We came to farm your kind." "Farm," someone whispered. "We take what is useful, the rest is ... recycled." Raylan's face didn't change, but his hands curled into fists. "You think we'll let that happen?" he asked. The alien laughed, a cold, sharp sound. "You have no armies, no fleets, no hope." Raylan leaned in. "We have something better." The alien tilted its head. "What?" Raylan smiled. Anger. Across the country, other rebels began to rise. In Texas, an old Marine built EMP bombs in his garage. In India, hackers used stolen alien tech to break their cameras. In Kenya, tribal hunters took down a scout drone using only spears and traps. In space, on a hidden satellite, a message was sent: resistance has begun. The world was still afraid, but now it was also awake. The Dravari had planned for war, but not for rebellion. 2 days later, Raylan's group attacked again. This time, they freed 20 people. Civilians. One of them was a scientist named Dr. Miriam Hahn. She had worked with satellites before the invasion. "I've seen their tech," she said. "I can help you understand it." Raylan looked at her. Hope lit his face. "Then we just became more dangerous." That night, as they all sat around a fire, someone asked Raylan, "Why do you fight? You already served your time. You could hide. Stay safe." Raylan looked at the stars. His eyes were tired, but strong. "I fight," he said, "because one day my grandchild will ask me what I did when the sky broke." He looked at the others. "And I want to say, I broke it back. Far above Earth, in a hidden alien ship." A silent alarm went off. A Dravari commander stared at the screen. Human resistance attacks were increasing. Their strategy was changing. He turned to his team. "Find this Raylan Pierce and kill him." The Dravari believed they had crushed Earth. They ruled the skies. Their ships floated above every city. Their towers pierced the clouds. They thought all resistance was gone. But they forgot one thing. Humans know how to dig. Underneath the broken streets of Chicago, an old subway station had become something new. It was dark, cold, wet, but it was alive. Generators buzzed, screens glowed, soldiers trained. Engineers built strange devices using human tools mixed with alien scrap. This was base Echo, one of many hidden bunkers now spreading across Earth and inside it. Commander Raylan Pierce stood in front of a map lit with red dots. "Dravari patrols move every 6 hours, said a woman beside him, Dr. Miriam Hahn, the scientist they rescued. She pointed to a red zone blinking near Lake Michigan. "If we attack their energy hub here, we shut down power to 4 towers, she said. Raylan nodded. "And that gives us, what? Maybe 10 hours before they send reinforcements." 6, if we're lucky. He smiled. I like those odds. Down the tunnel, Sasha walked with a group of rebels. She wore body armor now, carried a weapon she barely understood, a hybrid blaster made from Dravari tech and a microwave oven. 3 weeks ago, she was hiding in a subway station, scared, and alone now. People followed her. Don't forget to breathe, she told a nervous fighter beside her. He laughed. Easy for you to say. You're famous now. Sasha rolled her eyes. I'm just angry, that's all. He grinned. That's all we need. Later that night, the mission began. A team of 12, including Raylan and Sasha, moved through forgotten sewer lines. Mud covered their boots. The air smelled like rust and rot, but they didn't complain. Above them, the alien power station buzzed with blue lights. A humming sound filled the air, like metal grinding against metal. Sasha looked, up through a metal grate. There it is, she whispered. Raylan checked his old watch. 5 minutes. Dr. Hon's voice crackled in their earpieces. Remember, disable the core, don't destroy it. We need the power, just not for them. Raylan grunted. Copy that. They split into 3 teams. Team 1, disable the outer defenses. Team 2, jam the sensors. Team 3, cut into the power grid and reroute it to base Echo. Sasha was with Team 1. They moved fast, using smoke grenades and flash bombs. The Dravari guards didn't expect ground attacks. Most of their weapons pointed toward the skies. Big mistake. Sasha slid behind a wall, raised her hybrid blaster, and fired. The shot hit a guard square in the chest. Sparks exploded, and the alien screamed. Her team pushed forward. No mercy. This wasn't a rebellion anymore. It was war inside the power core room. Raylan and Dr. Hon reached the central console. Blue energy pulsed through alien wires. The control screen floated mid-air, covered in strange symbols. I can't read this fast enough, Dr. Hahn muttered. You have 2 minutes, Raylan said calmly. Then I start breaking things. I got it. She pulled a wire from her backpack and plugged it into the alien port. Her laptop lit up. It's working, she whispered. Outside, things got worse. The Dravari called reinforcements. Drones flew in. More guards dropped from above. Sasha's team was pinned behind a metal crate. Blaster fire lit up the night. We're not gonna make it. Someone shouted. Sasha gritted her teeth. She pulled a grenade from her vest, handmade, unstable. She looked at her teammate. Cover me. Then she ran, straight into the fire. She threw the grenade into the tower base and dove behind rubble. Boom. The explosion ripped through the enemy line. Smoke filled the area. Her team pushed forward again. Back in the core room, alarms screamed. They know we're here, Raylan shouted. I need 30 more seconds. Dr. Hon yelled. Raylan turned and shot 2 guards entering the room. The blasts echoed off the walls. Then silence. Only the hum of the machine. I got it, Dr. Hahn said. Suddenly, all the blue lights in the station flickered and turned red. Back at base Echo, the power systems roared to life. Screens lit up. Lights flickered on. Humans cheered. They had taken control of the station. The team began to fall back. The tunnels echoed with footsteps, radio calls, and heavy breathing. They left behind only fire, blood, and dead aliens as they reached the bunker. People clapped, hugs, tears, laughter. Raylan looked around, then raised his hand. Don't celebrate. Too long, he said. They'll come. Harder, smarter. But we'll be ready, Sasha said. He looked at her. You did good. Sasha nodded. We're not afraid of the dark anymore. Far above Earth, in a warship orbiting the planet, the Davari commander watched a glowing screen. Red alerts. Damaged systems. Power lost. Resistance growing. A younger officer spoke nervously. Sir, these humans, they learn too fast. The commander didn't blink. Then it's time we teach them fear. In the shadows of the bunker, Dr. Hahn stood, in front of a new device. A strange machine, made from human tools and alien parts. She looked at Raylan. This might change everything, she said. What is it? He asked. She smiled. A message, not to the Dravari, but to whoever is. Watching them, the world had changed. Alien towers still stood tall. Their ships still floated across the skies. But something was different now. Humans were no longer hiding. They were fighting, and more importantly, they were winning. In just 2 weeks, resistance cells attacked over 30 Dravari sites. In Brazil, rebels brought down a supply ship using old mining lasers. In Japan, hackers froze an alien AI for 17 minutes, enough to save an entire city block. In Egypt, tribes used desert winds and mirrors to burn through a scout ship's armor. The Dravari were powerful, but Earth was creative at Base Echo. Commander Raylan Pierce stood over a new map. This time, more red dots were blinking, not enemy positions, but human victories. He looked tired. His voice was quiet but strong. We're hitting them too fast, he said. They can't keep up. Sasha leaned over the table, pointing at one blinking dot. What about this one? She asked. A tower near Alaska. If we take it, we control northern skies. Raylan nodded. We'll send a scout team first. No surprises. Just then, Dr. Miriam Hahn entered the room. She held a small black device, shaped like a cube, glowing faint blue. I need to show you something, she said. In the bunker's lab. She placed the cube on a table. It's a data core from the last station we raided, she explained. Encrypted, alien tech. Took me days to crack. She pressed a button. A hologram appeared. Lines of alien symbols floated in the air, spinning slowly. This isn't just military code, she said. It's something else, something hidden. Raylan raised an eyebrow. Hidden how? Encrypted within their own language, she replied. Even their soldiers don't see it. The hologram changed, now showing an image of a human dot, his face pale, his body wired into machines, eyes wide open, unmoving. He's alive, she said softly, but they're using him, studying him. Why? Sasha whispered. Because they're scared. Meanwhile, in orbit, inside the largest Dravari warship, Commander Vakar sat in silence. His officers spoke quickly, panicked. The resistance is spreading, one said. Their attacks are no longer random. They've formed command groups. Vakar didn't move. They've adapted our tech. Another added. Their weapons, their comms, even our drones. Finally, the commander spoke. Send the Scorch teams. Gasps. One officer stepped forward. But sir, those are last resort units. We send them, Vakar growled. Back on Earth. Raylan watched the new footage from a rebel scout drone. What they saw chilled them. The Dravari had changed. Their new soldiers were taller, faster, wearing red armor instead of black. Their weapons burned hotter, louder. They didn't patrol. They hunted, the Scorch teams. They're not here to capture, Raylan said. They're here to destroy. Sasha looked at the screen. So we hit first. Raylan nodded. hard. Later that night, a team of elite rebels called Ghost Squad moved into position outside the Alaska Tower. They wore snow gear blended into the ice. Their mission was clear: disable the tower, capture one red-armored Dravari, and bring it back for study. But things didn't go as planned. The snow was quiet. The tower buzzed faintly. No guards in sight. "Something's wrong," one soldier whispered. Raylan, listening from base, answered through "Comes. Pull back, now." But it was too late. The ground shook. A scorched team burst from beneath the snow, hiding underground the whole time. Laser fire lit up the darkness. The Ghost Squad fought hard. They moved like shadows, fast and silent. But the red-armored Dravari were ruthless. By the time the dust cleared, only 2 humans were alive. One of them carried a small blinking cube, a stolen memory core from the tower. They had failed to hold the site, but the mission was still a success. Information was more powerful than bullets. Back at Base Echo, Dr. Hahn studied the core. She gasped. "This isn't just data," she said. "It's a transmission." She pressed a key. A voice spoke. Not Dravari, but something else. Something deeper. Older. Observation complete. The voice said, "Humans may qualify." Raylan leaned closer. "What the hell is that?" Dr. Hahn's face was pale. "They're not the only ones watching us." The next morning, a meeting was called. Leaders from all surviving rebel groups joined by radio. Raylan stood in front of the camera. "This is not just about Earth anymore," he said. "The Dravari think they can take what they want, but we've shown them pain. We've shown them resistance." He paused. "But now, they've shown us fear." He looked at Dr. Hahn, who nodded silently. "And maybe they're not the top of the food chain." That night, as the rebels slept, something entered Earth's orbit. Not a Dravari ship, not a human, something else. It didn't land. It didn't attack. It just watched and sent a message in human language. "Show us more." The message came at 3:17 a.m. No sound, no video, just text glowing on the rebel base screen. "Show us more." It repeated every 10 seconds. Raylan stood beside Dr. Hahn, staring at the screen in silence. Sasha rubbed her eyes. "Is it them, Doctor?" Hahn shook her head. "It's not the Dravari. The code is older, smoother, more advanced." Raylan crossed his arms. "So someone else is watching this war." "Not watching," Dr. Hahn said softly. "Studying." 2 days passed. More attacks, more victories, more losses. The rebels had taken 7 towers, shot down 3 ships, and rescued over 400 prisoners. But something felt different. The sky seemed heavier, like it was holding a secret dot in a hidden room beneath Base Echo. Dr. Hahn worked. Nan-stop dot. She decoded the signal's second layer. It wasn't just a message, it was a test, a pattern, a puzzle, almost like an invitation. She called Raylan. "I think they want to talk," she said. "Who are they?" he asked. Dr. Hahn didn't blink. "I don't know, but they've been watching the Dravari, and now they're watching us." That night, the stars above Earth changed. A single white light appeared. It didn't move like a ship. It didn't blink. Like a satellite it hovered, then slowly dropped into the ocean. The world felt it, like a deep breath being held. The next morning, a new signal appeared. "Meet us alone. 37.0 N, 144.0 W." The location was far in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Raylan stared at the coordinates. That's a trap, Sasha said. Maybe, Raylan replied. Or maybe it's a door. 3 days later, Raylan, Dr. Hahn, and 2 rebel pilots flew a silent aircraft built from stolen alien tech over the ocean. Clouds swirled. Rain hit the windshield, but the sea below was calm. Almost a calm dot. Then they saw it. A perfect circle of still water. No waves, no ripples, and in the center, a silver orb floating above the surface. No lights, no sound, just waiting. They landed on a nearby island and approached by boat. Raylan went first as he stepped closer. The orb opened. A path of light appeared, not solid, not liquid. Something in between. Raylan stepped onto it and vanished. He didn't fall. He floated inside something that looked like space, but wasn't. Stars danced around him. Planets blinked in and out of sight. Then a shape formed, tall, not human, not Dr. Avara. It shimmered like glass, but moved like smoke. It spoke without sound. You fight well, you suffer greatly, you adapt quickly. Raylan didn't move. Who are you? We are the witnesses. Raylan frowned. Witnesses of what? Conflict, survival, change. You've been watching Earth, yes, and the ones who hunt you. They are not the first. Raylan narrowed his eyes. Why contact us now? The being paused. Because you passed. Back on the island, time stood still. To the others, Raylan was gone only seconds. When he returned, his face was pale, his fists tight. They're not gods, he said, but they're old, very old. They've seen 1,000 wars. Dr. Hahn looked up. Did they offer help? Raylan shook his head. No, not yet. They offered a deal. Back at Base Echo, Raylan gathered the rebel leaders. They call themselves the Witnesses, he said. They don't fight. They watch. But if we prove we're worth betting on, he let the words hang. They'll give us knowledge. A rebel commander laughed. We don't need gods, we need guns. They're offering both, Raylan replied. But it comes with a price. Sasha leaned forward. What kind of price? Raylan looked her in the eye. They want us to fight the Dravari on their world. The room went silent. One soldier whispered, We can't even hold Earth. Raylan looked at the screen behind him, showing the growing resistance. Maybe we can't, yet, but if we wait, the Dravari will bring more ships, more soldiers. They'll burn this planet. He pointed to the screen. If we take the fight, to them, we change the rules. That night, Raylan stood alone outside the bunker. The stars were bright, too bright. He didn't trust the Witnesses. Not fully, but in war, you take the help you get and deal with the cost later. He lit a cigarette, took a breath, then looked up. I hope we're ready. End hook, far away, on a distant moon in another galaxy. A Dravari general knelt before a shadowy figure. Earth is resisting, the general said. They have allies. The figure stepped forward, tall, armored in deep black. Not Dravari, not Witness, something worse. They are waking up, the figure said. Then we must make sure Earth sleeps forever. Earth had never made a pact like this before, not with gods, not with demons, but with something older, stranger, watching from the shadows of the stars. They called themselves the Witnesses, and now they had chosen us. At Base Echo, the bunker was buzzing with movement. Engineers ran cables across floors. Soldiers tested hybrid weapons. The air smelled like oil, metal, and fire in the center room. Raylan stood before a massive screen. On it, a 3D map of the Dravari homeworld, red, harsh, covered in metal. This was where the invaders were born, where they trained, where they ruled. This is suicide, one rebel commander muttered. Raylan didn't blink. So is waiting. He looked at the room, at Sasha, at Dr. Hahn, at the tired, angry faces around him. We hit them now, while they're confused, while they're bleeding, while they still think we're weak. Silence. Then Sasha stood. I'll go. 3 days later, the plan was ready. The witnesses gave them something small, a folding core, capable of creating a one-time wormhole to the Dravari system. They would only get one shot. Raylan chose a team of 20, the best fighters, techs, and medics from across the globe. Each wrote a letter, just in case. One soldier, Luis, left his dog tags behind. Tell my daughter I fought for her future, he said. Sasha packed a small photo of her brother, the one taken by the Dravari months ago. She never found him. Now she hoped to find answers, or revenge. The wormhole opened above Earth's upper atmosphere, a perfect circle, blacker than space, silent. Raylan looked at it from the ship's window. His hands were steady, but his heart beat like a war drum. This is for Earth, he said, and they entered. The Dravari homeworld was worse than anyone imagined. The sky was orange, thick with smoke, the ground cracked with metal veins. Cities were built like cages, tall, grey, lifeless. From orbit, their ships saw slave pits, factories, barracks, no green, no oceans, just fire and chains. This place is a prison, Sasha whispered. Dr. Hahn scanned the landscape. There, she pointed. That's the communication core. If we destroy it, their whole command system will fall. Raylan nodded. Then we cut the head off the beast. They landed under the cover of dust storms. No alarms, no guards. The Dravari never expected humans to come here. The team split into 2 groups. Raylan led the assault team. Sasha led the sabotage. Team Dr. Hahn stayed at the ship, guiding them through alien systems. Time was short. Inside the city, the team moved like shadows. The streets were empty. Not because no one lived here, but because the people weren't allowed outside. Sasha saw it first. A holding pen. Hundreds of beings, not just humans. Other species too, from other worlds. Their eyes were hollow, their bodies thin. The Dravari had done this for years. We're not their first war, Sasha whispered. No, Raylan replied, but we'll be their last. At the comms tower, the fight began. Red-armored Dravari stormed out, firing plasma rifles. The humans scattered. Returning fire with hybrid weapons, Luis took a shot to the chest, still firing as he fell. Sasha reached the towers. Core. She planted the bomb, fingers shaking. 5 minutes, she radioed. Raylan's voice came through. Pull out. Meet at the fallback point. But just as they turned to leave her, new figure stepped out of the smoke. Tall, dark armor, a different design, not Dravari, something else. The figure spoke, but not aloud. It echoed inside their minds. You are brave, but you are still prey. Sasha fired. The shot passed through the figure like smoke. Then it raised its hand and Lucy's body. Vanished. Run. Raylan shouted. They escaped through a tunnel, barely reaching the ship as the bomb exploded behind them. Back on the ship, Dr. Hahn was pale. I saw it, she said, in the scans. That thing, it's not Dravari. Raylan sat down, breathing hard. Then what is it? She looked at him. I think it's what they're afraid of. As they left orbit, the comms tower still burning behind them, a final message came from the witnesses. You have spilled blood. You have passed again. Now the question remains, can you survive what follows? Back on Earth, people cheered. The first attack on an alien world. A full team returned. It was hope. It was fire. But Raylan knew the truth. This war had only just begun, in a dark place between stars. The figure in black armor stood before a council of shadows. They grow stronger, it said. A voice replied, then we feed them more war. Let them evolve, until they become what we fear most. The fires had spread across the stars. The first human ship to attack the Dravari homeworld had returned. The mission was a success, but something darker had followed them back, something older than the Dravari, something watching, something hunting. Inside base Echo, alarms blared. The lights dimmed. Communications went dead. Raylan stood in the war room, hands on the table. Across the screen, images flickered, satellites falling, skies burning red, towers lighting up across Earth. Dr. Han burst into the room, holding a datapad. It's not just them anymore, she said. A second fleet is coming. More Dravari, Raylan asked. No, she said. Something worse. Above Earth, the clouds split open again. Only this time, it wasn't the Dravari. Massive black ships, shaped like knives and shadows, poured through a tear in space. They moved without sound. They didn't land. They rained. Dark pods smashed into Earth like meteors. From inside crawled creatures, tall, thin, faceless, wrapped in black metal, moving like ghosts. They didn't take prisoners. They erased life. They were waiting for this, Sasha said, staring at the live feed from London. Waiting for us to get strong, to fight back, so they could finish the job themselves. Raylan didn't blink. They wanted a war, he said. Now we give them one. Across Earth, humans stopped hiding. Every bunker opened. Every survivor stood up. Miners picked up weapons. Farmers drove trucks loaded with bombs. Students became scouts. Veterans, teachers, hackers, all of them answered the call. This wasn't a mission anymore. This was survival. The witnesses returned, their ships hovering silently in orbit. They did not fight, but they sent one final message. Your story reaches its end, or your beginning. The choice is yours. Raylan looked up at the stars. We don't need gods. He turned to Sasha, ready to make history. She nodded. Let's write it in fire. The final plan was born in a cold steel room, drawn on a whiteboard with shaking hands. The goal wasn't to win. The goal was to end it. Step 1, destroy. The shadow gate, the crack in space the new invaders were using. Step 2, trigger the alien core bomb, created by Dr. Han using the folding core and scavenged tech. Step 3, get out alive. If possible, Raylan led the strike team. Sasha took charge of Earth's final defense lines. Dr. Han prepared the device. The countdown began. Above the Pacific Ocean, Raylan's team flew toward the Shadow Gate. Dozens of black ships floated around, it like sharks guarding a wound in the universe. Raylan looked at the stars. He thought of his old unit, his father, the friends he lost. He spoke softly, "Watch this, old man." Then he jumped. The battle began with a roar. Human ships, old, rebuilt, dirty, flew through the sky like birds on fire. Drones swarmed, lasers flashed, the sea boiled beneath them. Raylan's ship dove straight toward the core of the gate. They had one chance. Inside the cockpit, red lights blinked. Warnings screamed, but the pilot didn't stop. Brace, Raylan yelled. They crashed into the gate's control tower. The ship exploded, but Raylan survived, crawling from the wreckage. Bleeding, he pulled the core bomb from the wreck and set the timer. 10 minutes, no turning back on Earth. Sasha led the final line of defense outside New York, where the black creatures swarmed the streets. She fired until her gun ran dry, then picked up a fallen Dravari rifle and kept going. Push them back, she shouted. This is our home. A soldier beside her fell. Another grabbed the flag and stood up. They didn't run. They didn't surrender. They fought in orbit. Raylan activated the beacon. Detonation in 60 seconds. Dr. Hon's voice echoed in his ear. Raylan stood on the edge of the broken tower, staring down at the burning earth far below. He smiled. We were slaves, he said. He clenched his fist. Now we're legends. The bomb went off like a silent sun. The shadow gate collapsed, folding in on itself, tearing ships apart as it vanished. The black-armored creatures screamed, not in pain, but in fear. Across Earth, they began to fall, their power linked to the gate. One by one, they faded, turned to ash. Gone. Raylan never returned, but the message he left behind did. It played across every screen, every speaker, every device still working on Earth. They came to take us in chains. We broke those chains, and now they fear us. Because humanity doesn't kneel. We rise. 1 year later, Earth was rebuilding. The skies were clean. The alien towers were ruins. Statues of Raylan and the fallen stood across cities, built not of gold, but of steel forged from the wrecks of alien ships. Children touched their names. Soldiers whispered their stories. And across the stars, a warning spread. Don't go to Earth. They fight like demons. And they never stop. They came for slaves. They left in pieces.